And it is 9:30, so welcome again. My name is Sara. I am a certified Wise Ease Level 2 teacher, and I am going to guide you through 30 minutes of yoga this morning. And we're going to gear up towards a balancing pose this morning, which is amazing as it exercises both parts of the brain, which we rarely ever do. Do not be scared. It is not a scary balancing pose. But the poses that we begin with are going to prepare us for that. So we are actually going to start laying down this morning. So make yourselves comfortable. This is where you could use your pillow, you could use your blanket if you wanted to lay down on the mat. And I know for everyone it's not necessarily comfortable to be flat with your legs flat on the mat. So you may even want to bring those knees up. So just a comfortable position for you. You can have your eyes open, you can have your eyes closed. Whatever is comfortable. And I want you to place one hand on the heart, one on the belly. I'm just doing a little different this morning. And I want you just to focus on your breath, just as it is. Without judgment, just noticing any movement, no matter how small or how big. And just take a moment here on your mat. Acknowledge that breath. I think we very rarely just acknowledge our breath sometimes. Just feel it rise and fall in the belly. Maybe allowing the mind to quieten a little. On your next breath, I want you to take a deep inhale. I want you to really focus on that belly ballooning up. So we're going to inhale to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on the top. And then gently exhale. Allowing that belly button to come all the way down to the spine. So again, don't be so quick to take your next breath. We're going to inhale for 1, feel it rise, 2, 3, 4, holding at the top. And then we're going to exhale for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Allow that belly button to come all the way down. And then when you're ready, inhale again for 1, 2, 3, 4, holding at the top for a second. And then exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, when you're ready, inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let the belly expand, holding at the top. And then gently exhale, allow yourself to count in your head this time. So we're going to do a couple more. I want you to count yourself up and then back down. And really coming up, raising that belly. And then as we exhale, we'll really line that belly button. Come all the way down. So one more time, imagine you climb to the top of the mountain, perhaps that belly's reaching up, all the way up. And then gently exhaling, coming all the way down. Allow that belly button to sink down into your spine. focus on breath throughout this class. You move those hands, and we're going to bring that right knee in. And you can have this left knee up, or you can bring it all the way down to the mat. And if you flex that foot, it really helps allow that calf to also come down to the mat. And then we're going to gently bring that right knee in towards that right shoulder or armpit. And again, you can have that knee up if that is more comfortable. Gently bring it in. And then slightly release. If that knee's up, gently bring it down to the mat. I'm going to place this left hand on that right knee. Right arm's going to come out as a T. We're going to do our nice little spinal twist to begin with today. And then we're going to gently bring that knee over to the left. Now you can gaze up to the sky. You can gaze over to that right hand. And just let it fall where it needs to fall. You don't need to push that knee, just gently. This beautiful twist in the spine. And then gently coming back. Here we're going to release that knee. So we're going to switch knees. We're going to bring that left knee in this time. So remember that right one can be bent. And you can have it flat on the mat. It helps to flex that foot a little bit. And then bring that knee in. So bring it towards, it's still coming straight, but we imagine it coming towards that left armpit this time. All right, I like to say shoulder because it sounds a little nicer. Nice stretch here. And gently release. So if that leg is flat, you may want to, if that leg is bent, you may want to stretch it out. And then we're going to place that right hand on that left knee. Left arm comes out as a T. I do have the wall, so I don't have as much space, but bring the arm as a T, and then we're going to gently bring that knee over. And just allow it to fall where it needs to fall. You can also grab a block to put underneath that knee. You can get your blanket, just something for that knee to rest on. There are lots of options here. And you can gently look towards the left. I'm not going to, because I want to focus my attention on you guys. And then we're going to gently bring it back to center. I'm going to place both feet on the mat with those knees up. So we're going to get a nice little hip stretch, and we're going to do our modified pigeon. So we're going to start with this left leg this time. We're going to bring it on that right knee. And we're going to flex that left foot. Now, make sure that right foot is firmly planted in the mat. And we're going to take this left hand and we're going to gently place it on that left knee. And we're going to start by just gently pressing that forward. Now, this is where you can stay if you like. You get a nice little hip opener here. Or if you want to go to the next step, you can take your hand, you can lift that right foot. Take those hands, wrap them around that right leg, and then gently bring that towards, that knee towards the chest. So this is another option. Or you can go back to the other option, just gently pressing that knee back. Lots of different modifications. And we'll just open up these hips for our balancing pose. So just some preparation. Those hips, open them up. We carry a lot of our stress in our hips. And then gently press that foot back down to the mat and release that left. So this time I'm going to take that right. I'm going to gently place it over that left knee. So again, you can take that right hand and you can gently press that knee forward. Or you can lift that left foot up, place those hands underneath, flexing that foot and gently bringing that knee towards that chest. So lots of different options. And really focus on that breath, always noticing that rise and fall in the belly. nice little hip stretch here. And then we're going to gently release, bringing both feet down to the mat. You bring your hands by your side. I'm just going to gently reach up those legs. And always remember to smile. And then bring them back to center. So we're going to bring those knees over to the right, almost like into a fetal position. And then gently use that hand to come up. And then we're going to come into tabletop. So we're going to move any props that we don't need out of the way. We're going to come into a beautiful tabletop. So our hands are firmly planted, fingers are spread. You can have your feet flat on the mat, you can have them flexed. And we're going to start with a few cat-cows. So we're going to take a deep inhale, rising the belly, looking up. Really expand the belly, and then exhale, chin to chest. So again, we're going to take a deep inhale. And then exhale, chin to chest. Really arch that back like a cat. So again, we're going to take a deep inhale, looking up. And then gently exhale, chin to chest. You can always have a blanket underneath those knees. One more time. Take a deep inhale and raise the belly. And then exhale, chin to chest. And then we'll come to a neutral spine. So again, if your feet are now flat, flex those feet. We're going to really push through those palms. And we're going to come into our downward facing dog. So we're going to really push through those palms and raise those hips up to the sky. So we're going to really push through the palms, raise those hips up. If there's a lot of pressure on those shoulders, you can gently bend those knees. And that will release a little bit of pressure, but we still remain that nice flat back. And from here, you can just step those legs into a nice happy dog, bending one knee at a time. And again, focusing on the breath. And gently push back. Again, you can have those knees slightly bent to relieve those shoulders. And then we're going to gently bring those hands all the way towards the feet. Now remember, in that forward fold, you can always use a block. So if you're not touching those toes, that's okay. Use a block and be right here, having a nice flat back. And then remember, there are 2 levels of that block. So do what you need to do. It's your journey. We're actually going to grab those elbows if this feels comfortable and come into our ragdoll. You sway that head from side to side, shake that head yes, shake that head no. Or you can just sit in a nice stationary position, really allowing that weight of that upper body to be heavy, to really ground down into the mat. And then gently release, slightly bend those knees, and come all the way up. And then bring those hands to heart center. So we can stay exactly where we are. I'm just going to move so I'm facing you. We're going to start with our nice mountain pose. We're going to have our hands by our side. And I really want you to ground down into the mat, being nice and tall. It's also going to prepare us for our balancing pose today. So stand up nice and tall, really grounding down into the earth. Those eyes open or closed. I do have a tendency to close my eyes in mountain pose. It is a beautiful pose. Now I want you to pick those toes up, Spread them apart if you can. And then gently set them back down. So we're going to do that again. We're going to pick those toes up. Spread them apart. Gently bring them back down. So now we're going to test our balance a little. Do what you can. This is uncomfortable. Go back to bringing the toes up. Spread them apart. We're going to gently shift our weight to our toes, bringing those heels up. You bring them slightly up, or you can go a little bit further. Just testing our balance. And then gently coming down. Again, do what you can do this morning. So we'll do it one more time. Gently come up on those toes as far as you possibly can. May only be a slight little bit, and that's okay. And then calm down. So we're going to bring our hands to heart center. So this is where we're going to start to work towards our balancing pose. And I want you to pick that right foot up and then place it back down on the mat. So I want you to focus on grounding down those big toes, little toes, heels into the mat. Really getting that stability on that right foot. And then from here, we're going to gently, slightly pick up that left. Now we are going to work on tree today, and there are lots of modifications. So you could start by really grounding those toes into the mat and resting the heel on that leg, making sure that knee is coming to the outside. You can also have a piece of furniture if you wanted to rest. So you could put your right hand here and still be in this pose, and then only having one hand to heart center. So lots of different ways we can go with this. So we can have this modification. We could bring it up here if you have a little more balance. And again, there's always props. You still come up to this level and hold on. Or if you are slightly advanced, you can bring it up here above the knee. That is the most important part. We don't want to put it on any joints. And making sure that knee is coming to the side and hands to heart center. Even in this pose, you could bring one hand to a piece of furniture. So choose where you need to go. I'm going to come back down here for those of you who are here with this nice kickstand. Hands to heart center. And just take a moment to feel the beauty of this pose. For those of you who are more advanced in your practice, you can't even form branches. Bring those arms up and then spreading those branches and becoming your own unique individual tree. But again, you don't have to have your hands in these beautiful branches. You could have them on heart center. You could be holding on to a piece of furniture or a wall, whatever you have available. And then we're going to release. So we're going to inhale those arms up. We're going to do a nice forward fold just to counterbalance this. So we're going to come down. You can have a slight bend in your knees. Remember, you can use that block also. Gradually gain that flexibility so you don't have to come all the way down to your toes. Allow that head to just hang naturally. And we'll gently bend the knees and come all the way up and bring those hands to heart center. So we're going to do the other side. So we're going to gently bring that left foot up and then place it back down on the mat. Big toe, little toes, heels into the mat. Really get that stability first. Super important with balancing. And then hands are at heart center. And we can gently pick up that right. So the weight is in the left. And we're gently picking up that right. So you can have that kickstand. Remember, you can even use a block to gain a little bit of height. So you can even have the block and do it this way. Making sure that knee is pointed out to the right. You can bring that further up. Remember, below the knee. You can also be holding onto a wall, piece of furniture with this left hand. All hands to heart center. I'll create those branches. And really focus on that breath. And just remind yourselves how strong you are. How you're your own beautifully unique tree. And we'll gently release from that pose. So we're going to inhale those arms up. Make sure you're top of your mat. Inhale those arms up. And then we're going to exhale, forward fold. Remember, you can use the block at any point. We're going to inhale, flat back, so those hands below the knees. Pull the crown of your head. And then exhale, hands to the mat. So we're going to gently tiptoe those fingers up. You can bend those knees. You're either going to come into a plank or onto your knees. I'm going to come into Chaturanga. So if you're on your knees, this is the modified version. If you're on your toes, we're going to go that way. So if you're on your toes or your knees, you're going to gently come forward. Elbows at a 90-degree angle. I'm coming all the way down. And then into your cobra. Feet to flat, sorry, I might flex. And then flex those feet. And try and bring the body up to downward facing dog. And we'll pedal those legs out one more time. So we're going to do that one more time. This time I'm going to demonstrate on our toes, but you can do it on your knees. So we're going to come into that plank or onto your knees. You're going to roll forward. So your hands, your shoulders are over those wrists. And then gently coming down. And then either cobra or up dog where those feet are turned up. And then we'll come in to tabletop. So we're going to do a few more cat-cows. So you got a nice flat back to begin with. Then we're going to take a deep inhale, belly expands, looking up. And then exhale. So again, take a deep inhale, looking up. And then exhale, chin to chest. One more time, take a deep inhale, looking up. And then exhale, chin to chest. And find that neutral spine. So we're going to come into a seated position, but we're going to bring those legs out in front. Doing things a little differently today, but it's good to change things up. So our legs are out in front. And we're going to do a forward fold. So a lot of people cannot just go and touch their toes. That does take practice. So when we do this forward fold, you can even have your hands starting here on the hips and gently slide those hands down as far as they will go for you. Or if you are a little more, I'm just going to scoot this way so I bring those arms up. You can raise those arms up and then gently forward fold. We are going to have a rounded back as we bring those hands towards the feet. But remember, you can bring them here and slide them down towards those ankles. Go where your body needs to go today. So really relax the neck and shoulders. Nice rounding in the back. Nice stretching those hamstrings. And just take a moment here. Really focusing on that breath. On the rise and fall of the belly. And then gently come up. So I'm just going to turn to face you. And we're going to do another spinal twist, but we're going to do this sitting. So we're going to bring this left leg over the right. And we're going to inhale those arms up. And then we're going to gently turn to this left side. So I'm placing this left hand on the mat, right hand on that knee, and just gently turn. So you want to twist at the waist and then gently open up that shoulder to possibly look behind. You may only be right here, and that's okay. So in a beautiful twist. And then we'll gently release. I'm going to switch legs. So lay that left one down. So the right one is going to come over that left. And we're going to inhale those arms up. We're going to twist to the right this time. So as we twist, we're bringing that right hand down to the mat, left gently on that knee. And just gently get a nice little twist. Remember, we're twisting at the waist, so it may only look to the side. Or you can try and open up that shoulder then and gently look behind. The other foot is nice and flexed to protect the knee. Still focusing on that breath. Sometimes we pause and breath. And then gently come back to center. So we're going to release those legs. And we're going to come into a sitting position. So if we're in a sitting position, we can be on a block if we like. And this is how we're going to end our practice today. So we're going to have our resting pose and a sitting pose. So you can be on the block. It just relieve a little bit of tension, those knees and those hips. So sitting up nice and tall. I want you to take one hand to the heart, just as we started the practice, and one to the belly. And again, you can have your eyes open. You can have them closed. And I just want you to focus on your breath as we began, just as it is. It may have changed from the beginning of your practice. And I just want you to take a moment to acknowledge this breath. Noticing any movement in the belly. Beginning and ending our practice in the same way. It's in a different position this time. We're sitting up, ready to take on our Friday. And with your next breath, you take a deep inhale. Just try to really expand in that belly. Up, 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 up. And then slowly exhale. Allow that belly button to come all the way down to your spine. So we're going to do that again. We're going to take a deep inhale. Really expanding that belly. Up, 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 up. And then exhale. And that belly button all the way down to your spine. I want you to continue with that breath. Again, either with your eyes open or closed. You can keep your hands where they are. You can bring them to your knees. Just take a few moments to really notice this movement. We're controlling our breath as we end our practice today. As you inhale, really allow that belly to expand, maybe pausing just for a moment. And then as we exhale, really slowing down that exhale and really feeling that belly button come all the way down to our spine. You can all imagine different things. I always imagine raising up to the top of a hill. And then as we exhale, down to the bottom, very bottom of that hill. Slowly. And then on your next inhale, we're going to actually raise the hands up to the sky. Look up if that feels good on your neck. And then we're going to exhale down, really pushing those palms towards the mat, waking up for our Friday. Inhale up. And then exhaling down, really pushing those palms towards the mat. And again, inhale up. Bringing those palms together. And then gently bringing them down. Hands to heart center. I want to thank you for practicing with me today. I hope you have a fabulous Friday. If you would like to make a donation, we are always super grateful. There is a link at the bottom, I believe. It helps teachers like myself provide the resources so we can serve those who serve. I hope you have a fabulous Friday, and I will see you next week.